Alrighty, folks, whether you're watching on YouTube or on TikTok, we are live for talking about balls, wherever you may be, however you may be listening. Yes, I did steal that from Colin Coward and his show, but we are here, and it's not just speculation anymore. It's not just prediction based trying to fill up time. We are actually talking about NFL football being played week numero uno this week. In just 2 days from now, Wayne's Ravens will be losing to the Kansas City Chiefs as we'll make our picks for week number one. First off, Wayne, how are you doing today? I don't care.
Nice weather out.
Sure.
It's, what?
That's what they all
You
say.
just not outside?
That's what they all say. First off, let's get on to it. Let's start off with your Florida Gators, Wayne. You,
Not my Florida
you
Gators. I
if you
just had them at 7 wins.
if he predicted Florida to win 7 games, would you retract on that statement so far after the abysmal performance that was put on by those clowns?
Yeah, I think they still get 5 wins. So
You said 7.
I was wrong by 2 wins. My bad.
Okay. Let's start off with a little bit of college football for a couple of minutes because it did just happen. The AP poll is out. USC's up to number 13 in the rankings. Give me 3 winners of the weekend in college football, 3 losers. You want me to go first, and you can think about it?
Well, there aren't that many movies.
I'll go first. My first winner is going to be Bill O'Brien at Boston College, because this is a team that is not in the prestigious level of programs, but they're up there. Matt Ryan, Luke Kuechly, Doug Flutie, like they have had guys, A.J. Dillon. They've had guys that have, made the NFL and put in Hall of Fame careers, because we all know A.J. Dillon will be a Hall of Famer one day. But for them to win against Florida State, which I don't care how good you think Florida State is, I particularly think they're going to win maybe 2 games this year. But to go into that stadium in such incredibly tough environment and make it look easy, their quarterback, Thomas Castellanos, is one of the most exciting players in college football. They almost beat Florida State last year when the animal that was Florida State was running through. So that's my, first off, biggest winner is Bill O'Brien, and especially that Boston College team, because they were up there with the worst Power 5 team in the year last year. Now they're getting off to 1-0, so that's a huge win. I'm also going to give a big win to Alabama. Okay, it was only Western Kentucky, but when you make a drastic change, as drastic as it was with Nick Saban leaving, and now bringing in Kalen DeBoer, and you still win by 63 points, I get it. Western Kentucky is whatever. Ryan Williams, the freshman receiver, only 17 years old, looks like an NFL-type player. So that's a second big winner. Don't want to read too much into it because it's Western Kentucky, but Alabama shows that they can still have a kind of peaceful change of power, if you will. And then finally, I'll go with the Miami Hurricanes. I mean, going into the Swamp, and the Swamp is known as one of the toughest places to play in the country. Didn't look like that for Cam Ward. The guy is as cool as it could be, maybe a little bit too cool. But they just came and whooped the Gators' ass. Whooped their ass, and it looks like Miami is back, which is great to see because everybody loves the U. Maybe not everybody, but I love the U. They're a swaggy team. Get the turnover chain out, and those are my 3 winners. So Bill O'Brien is a coach, Alabama is a team, and then Miami is a team. So your winners of the weekend in college football.
One of my winners is the Arizona Wildcats.
Who did they play? They barely beat New Mexico. That's why they're a winner for you.
No.
New Mexico State, Arizona.
Oh, then the wide receiver, I guess I'll do as a big winner then.
Oh, McMillan.
Yeah.
Okay. They allowed 39 to Arkansas State, and you're going to say
defense. So.
that's a part of the team.
No, I said the wide receiver.
Okay, but you said Arizona first. Okay. Noah Fafita and McMillan look as good as a combo you can get. 304 yards, second most in conference history, and they've only played 1 game in the conference. So, your second winner? There's a lot of teams to choose from.
I'm going through the week 1 matchups.
You can make a case for Georgia just to show that they're still Georgia, and they still look like the best team in the country. They've been the best team in the country probably for 4 years now, and I think it will stay that way. So that's a big winner. Any other, Wayne?
Uh, I'm trying to go through and find some.
I'll give you some hints. Notre Dame's a big winner. You can have them as a big winner. Penn State to go on the road to West Virginia. Same thing with Notre Dame. Go on the road at A&M and win with a new quarterback. And the way that they did, the defense looks phenomenal. West Virginia was a good performance for Penn State. At West Virginia, a streaky, hot Mountaineer team, and West Virginia just couldn't handle Penn State at all. And then we'll go to the biggest loser, not losers. We'll name off one. Florida State. I mean, this team was so bad against Boston College. And this was a kind of eggs in the basket season for Boston College, or for Florida State, because they wanted to make the point of, hey, you took us out of the playoff. We're going to show you. We're going to show you that we belong. Ain't showing anybody yet. They're showing them that they're right, is what Florida State is showing basically everybody else in the country. Who's your biggest loser of the weekend? Your Gators, not bad to lose by that much. Clemson can also be one because they just weren't competitive. I mean, this is just a program that was the team to beat in college football and now aren't competitive anymore. That could be another option.
We do not utilize the transfer portal.
Yeah, looks great for them.
Average Dabo Sweeney comment.
Also, a big loser could be the average fan because we didn't have that many great games. The 3 big ones or the 4 big ones.
DJ Ugalungale when he doesn't have a 5-yard check down to throw to.
Clemson, Georgia blowout. Penn State, West Virginia blowout plus a 2.5-hour delay. Florida, Miami blowout. Notre Dame, A&M was a good enough game, but that's really it. You have a loser? You?
Not really.
No? Okay, you're a friggin' loser for that. Anyway, let's get into NFL. Let's get into our NFL talk, as this is an NFL podcast, and the NFL is starting in 2 days. And what time is it?
4:30.
2 days, 3 hours and 50 minutes until the NFL kickoff from Arrowhead Stadium. For a 3rd consecutive year, they'll be playing at Arrowhead Stadium because the Chiefs have won back-to-back Super Bowls. Let's start off. I'll go a little bit unscripted again. The entire NFL, give me the 3 biggest storylines in the entire NFL this year. I'll start off with number 1. It's can they get a 3-peat with Kansas City? That is the number 1 storyline across the entirety of the NFL. I'm interested to see the Chiefs are going to have an overwhelming amount of hate this year. When New England was going on and having their run, everybody hated New England. Kansas City's gotten back-to-back. They're kind of annoying if you don't kind of sip the Kool-Aid with Taylor Swift and everything, which I don't care. I'm a grown man. I don't have time to cry about it on Twitter. But that's a big storyline with Kansas City going for a 3-peat. So what storyline for you? All right, I'll let him think. I'll do.
I was just going to do if Tyreek can get 2,000 yards, but that's been the same goddamn storyline for 2 years now, so.
Okay. I'll go with what's Aaron Rodgers going to be after his injury?
Yeah.
I mean, the Jets are going to be a high microscoped team in college football. In the NFL this year. What will Aaron Rodgers look like? Aaron Rodgers, one of the box office players in the NFL. The New York Jets, one of the box office organizations. Everybody's going to be watching the Jets this year. How will Rodgers look? Will this be the Hall of Fame top 5-10 quarterback we've known over the years, or will he kind of succumb to the washed up, Father Time? The relationship Mother Nature and Father Time have. I get them screwed up. They look similar. Maybe they're siblings. But what will that happen?
It's because Aaron Rodgers and Mother Nature, it's his ayahuasca retreat.
Probably.
With like mushrooms, so that's why.
Probably sold his soul.
Yeah.
So that's another
Josh
big.
Rosen is elite. He might be a good NFL quarterback.
Yeah. That's another big storyline.
Oh, I don't know if it's that big of a storyline, but if the Eagles adding Saquon over the offseason, if they're able to make a good playoff push this year, that's not that big of a storyline. But
I think another big one is Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. That's a big one, and how will they fare? The biggest one in the NFL entirely It's up there with Kansas City just because of everybody's knows about them and watches them and cares about them.
The Texans.
The Dallas Cowboys. It's a burning point with Dallas. It's kind of like a dam, right? You're adding water every year to the dam, and the dam's starting to creak. It's starting to make noise. You're still holding in all the water, but as soon as one crack goes, the whole operation blows open. That's this year with Dallas.
That almost happened with CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. That's this with Dallas. There's creaks and cracks, and some water's getting through, but most of the water, most of the expectation is still there. If one thing goes to another and they can't win another playoff game this year, you could really, for the first time, I think, ever, because a lot of people have been talking about over the years, oh, they got to let go of Dak, let go of CD, blah, 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 let go of Amari Cooper back then. I never thought that was a real possibility because of how good they've been. But if it happens again and Dak Prescott cannot win in the postseason and the Cowboys cannot perform in the postseason, this is the first year in a long time where I will actually consider and think it's probably more likely than not that Dallas blows it up, which they're the most valuable organization in America, in the world, one of the most followed teams. Whether you like or hate Dallas, the NFL is better when Dallas is relevant, right? It's better when people are talking about the Cowboys. People that don't even watch football know about the Dallas Cowboys. So what will happen to them, I think, is a huge storyline. Any other ones here before we get into our award prediction? I think there's just so many. The Buffalo Bills lost 240 targets from last year. They lost Diggs. They lost Gabe Davis. They've lost.
Well,
Diggs had over 100 targets.
If Gabe Davis never had that playoff game, he'd still be irrelevant. Nobody would know about him. I think it would have been better for the Bills if he never even had that breakout game.
So we'll see what happens with that. I think the huge one that we've just kind of glossed over is no more Belichick in New England, no more Pete Carroll in Seattle. These two longtime head coaches that have kind of just been the face of the NFL. Like Bill Belichick has just been the staple of New England and the NFL for such a long time now. How will Gerard Mayo look? And can New England get back to winning games with that? That's a huge storyline. A lot of guys have changed teams. The Steelers QB situation is big time. There's a bunch of things. Can San Francisco finally win a Super Bowl? Because everybody talks about Dallas, okay? And the Cowboys haven't made a conference championships in 30 years. The Niners haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years.
Well, there's a difference between a conference
I know.
and...
But
well, also
would you not agree that...
haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years as well, so...
Would you not agree the Niners have had so many better teams than Dallas?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, the Niners have been so good. They've made...
2013, they had Colin
Kaepernick and Gore and Vernon Davis and Michael Crabtree and Patrick Willis.
To the Super Bowl.
And then 2019 on, they've just been the best team in the league.
Well, then they had the COVID season. Everybody got injured. Nick Bosa, all them. It was just the entire injuries. And like 2021 and 2022, they struggled.
2021 and 2022, they were in the championship. No, 2021.
2021 they weren't. Because then 2022, they made it to championship. Purdy gets injured.
Yeah.
And then last year, they just went to
last
the
year
Super Bowl.
they...
So, yeah.
No. 2023, they beat the Lions. 22, they lost to the Eagles. 21, they beat the Rams. No, the Rams beat them in the NFC Championship. 20, I forget. 19, they made the Super Bowl. So,
well, 20, they didn't even make the playoffs because they were all injured. So
yeah.
Was that the year the Seahawks made it?
The playoffs?
For the NFC West?
Maybe.
I think that might have been.
Seattle played in the playoffs. Somebody. The Green Bay, maybe. No, it's 2019. I don't know. I know the Buccaneers played the Packers in the NFC Championship. That's all I know. But let's get into it. We were supposed to do this last week, but I was all burnt out. I had college classes and 2 podcasts back-to-back, so give me a break, okay? We're going to do award predictions now, and then we're going to talk and break down every single game on the NFL schedule. Believe it or not, we're here. It's about that damn time. Where we get into NFL talk, where we predict games, where we talk about what happens in the National Football League, all of that great, good stuff. So let's get into it. With these award predictions, we got top 3. I'm going to add a wrinkle to this here. Top 3 plus sleeper, okay? Your top 3, and then just a sleeper that you're high on that really has no chance, okay?
Shit.
So top 3 and a sleeper that you just a guy you like that probably is not in the top 20 of the rankings, but can make a
just someone that you think
can make a run.
Shit. Oh,
Okay.
damn, I gotta think about that now. Hold on.
So let's go to MVP. My sleeper is going to be Kyler Murray to win MVP. I think with Jonathan Gannon, defensive minded head coach.
I don't know if this guy works. But I'm going with him.
This is a sleeper. It doesn't have to work really. It's just a guy you like.
Well, no, I think he has a chance, but it's
If you pick
he
like
doesn't
Sam
have
Darnold, I'll
no.
shoot you. But
Well,
like Daniel Jones.
No, I think this guy he relatively has a chance at the beginning of the season.
So I'll go with Kyler Murray as my sleeper pick. Just a guy I think is going to have a really good season because people have counted him out. Like the Cardinals, from when Kyler played last year to the end of the season, were a relatively good offensive team. Marvin Harrison's in there now. Trey McBride's going to, I think, take a step to be a premier tight end in the National Football League. Michael Wilson, other guys on that team. They do lose Hollywood Brown to the Chiefs.
I know how good James Conner is.
Who cares?
Imagine
Kyler-
Hollywood Brown and
I think Kyler Murray would be in a spot this year. They're going to have to throw the ball a lot. If they can win some of those close games, I think he does have a chance. Who's your sleeper at QB?
I'm going with Matt Stafford, I guess.
It's not bad.
I don't
That's
know
not
if it's
bad.
much of a sleeper, but like
I like that. Great offense, great offensive coach.
I mean, no matter how old Matt Stafford
Kyron
gets,
Williams,
he's
gunslinger,
slinging
throws
the rock
ball.
every single year.
Good pick. Let's start off with
And
the.
to think about it, they're not that good of a team, so they could be losing in a decent amount of games, which obviously makes them throw a lot.
They're not
but-
that good of a team. They're like everybody thinks they're going to be a playoff team.
Oh
Almost.
no, I think they're 7, 8 wins. That's about it.
7 wins for the Rams. Cooper Kupp's back.
Yes, Mason. A playoff team would be 9 or 10 wins. So it's
7
like,
is bad. 7's like the Vikings last year. Bad. Okay, let's get into MVP. Number 3, I have Patrick Mahomes. I'm not really high on the Kansas City Chiefs offense. I was thinking about this list today, and I'm like, okay, they got Pacheco. I think this team's going to be more run-heavy team. Not incredible receivers. Mahomes didn't throw the ball all that much in the postseason last year. And then I'm just like, okay, it's Patrick Mahomes. He's got to be in my rankings somewhere. I'm not high on Mahomes this year, and I think the years of Kansas City throwing the ball every play back in 18 and 19 are completely gone. But you still got to put Patrick Mahomes in your rankings no matter what, just because of the player he is and how good he is. So I'll go Mahomes at 3 in my MVP rankings.
My number 3 will also be Mahomes.
Okay, this guy's got to copy me every time. I know. I saw a familiar figure.
I don't think anything has been copied so far.
I think you copy me every week. I think I'm writing this down wherever I write it down, and there's a shadow behind me. Just he's got that down. Good
Okay,
pick,
the
good pick.
problem is I
Good pick.
write these at 8 in the morning, so
I know. That's what you say.
you don't write them until 3:40 in the afternoon.
Whatever.
4 o'clock.
Whatever. My number 2 pick. This could have been my sleeper. Probably should have been my sleeper. But who ran the most plays in the NFL last year? I didn't know it until I looked it up. The Indianapolis Colts. More plays equals more opportunity to score. More opportunities to score means more stats. More stats means better award chances. So I'll go Anthony Richardson at number 2 in my MVP race. The Colts, I think, are going to be an electric offense. I think they have all the weapons necessary. Offensive line that is top tier. Jonathan Taylor, who's a great running back, which you need a good running back to be a successful quarterback. Anthony Richardson could have a Jalen Hurts type of rushing production, 10 to 12 rushing touchdowns. Shane Steichen, who's the Colts coach, left. Coach left after Jalen Hurts was second in MVP voting. So he shows that he can get guys great stats. I think if they can win the AFC South, if they could put themselves in a high enough offensive numbers, and Anthony Richardson can have good enough balance between run and pass, he gets second in MVP voting for me.
For me, second MVP voting, I have Lamar Jackson.
He's so boring. Let me just pick the top 3. Like if I know who number 1's going to be. It's probably going to be my number 1. My number 1, only in his second year, it's going to be C.J. Stroud. Takes the jump, which, if you recall, there was some MVP hype last year around week 8 or 9. I believe right after the Texans beat the Buccaneers in that thriller when Stroud had 470 yards and 5 touchdowns. A lot of people were screaming that he should win MVP. didn't, of course, just because he's a rookie and it was maybe a little bit too soon.
And he had an injury. Missed
Yeah.
2 to 3 weeks.
But I think it is enough for Anthony or for CJ Stroud to go ahead and win MVP. This guy's asking, should I flex Keenan Allen or Christian Watson? Keenan Allen.
Is that even a question?
On days ending in Y, I would start Keenan Allen.
Christian Watson?
Yeah.
He's not even the wide receiver 1 on his team.
Yeah, Christian Watson, I think you should drop the kid right now. He's probably the wide receiver 4 on the Packers.
I mean,
yeah.
Dontavius Wicks,
You could-
Romeo Dobbs, and Jaden Reed. So
Yeah. If you maybe Christian Watson has 20 points this week and surprises me. He's playing against a bum-ass Eagles team. Anyway,
damn,
I'm gonna ask.
suck
I'm
once
gonna
they play
ask
the Eagles.
you guys a question, and my partner here, Wayne. We're not gay partners, just my partner on the show. We could be if we want.
No, thank you.
He's already kissed a man. He's liked it.
No, he kissed me. I couldn't do
he's
anything
admitting it.
against
He's
it.
admitting it. Should I start Deebo Samuel, plays against Sauce Gardner and the Jets, or Zay Flowers, who plays against Trent McDuffie and the Chiefs? You'd probably say Deebo Samuel.
No, I say Zay Flowers.
Really? You probably
I'd
say
say
I.
Zay Flowers.
I would lean Deebo Samuel.
I get what you're getting at just because of the amount of playmaking. Well, who's to say Sauce doesn't cover Brandon Ayuk?
He could. But I might go out and just put Zay Flowers because I usually always want to have a guy starting on Thursday night, so I have something to cheer for on that game. So that might come back to
I'd
hurt
say
me.
Zay Flowers. But that's
All right,
just me.
let's move on. Who's your MVP pick?
My first number 1 MVP pick.
What do you mean?
CJ Stroud.
Your first number 1 MVP pick? Who's
Number
your
1 in MVP voting is CJ Stroud. No, Josh Allen.
That's a good pick. I was going to go Josh Allen as well.
Because of the fact there's not a lot of weapons.
Yeah, I think
see
he can
him
do it all.
rushing a lot more. And like we're talking about earlier, with not a lot of weapons, who's to say they aren't down every once in a while at the ending of a game, and he's just going to be slinging the rock, running the ball again. So it's like
Here's the
the
thing.
stats, I think, will.
You can say, so who's to say they're not going to be down? At the same time, you got to win games to win MVP.
Yeah, obviously.
it's-
I mean, look.
If they're down
You
and
could
stay
win
down,
10
that's
games,
bad.
You could win 10 games and still be an MVP voter.
Yeah. But
And I
historically,
could see the Bills winning 10
historically, okay, who won the MVP last year? Lamar Jackson,
12 and 5.
1 seed. Who won it in 2022? Mahomes, 1 seed. 21,
Rodgers.
1 seed, 1 seed. So like you can't just go be a wild card team and win MVP unless you have insane stats. I think that's not a bad pick just because they'll have to do it all. But if you remember the Bills last year, they were 5-6 at one point and made it into the playoffs at 11-6. What happened when they got all that going? James Cook led the league in rushing attempts. So that could be a big drawback on Josh Allen. So that's our MVP voting. It looks like a good team there in a 10-man league. Maybe a little bit with Caleb Williams just being a rookie, but I also think the rookie effect will not matter to Caleb Williams. I think he's that good. Maybe David Montgomery's whatever, but you got a good enough team around him. So anyway, let's move on to Offensive Player of the Year. My sleeper pick for Offensive Player of the Year is going to be Sam Laporta. Tight end. That's the really only thing that is putting him behind on Offensive Player of the Year voting. But he's a great option as a tight end. So I think, when's the last time a tight end's won Offensive Player of the Year? I don't know if it's ever happened, and we've seen historic tight end seasons. Kelsey a couple of years ago, Darren Waller, and they really didn't sniff it. So Laporta needs to have like 1,500 yards, which just won't happen as a tight end. So that is why he is my sleeper. But greatest rookie tight end season of all time in an electric top 5 offense in the league. Who says he can't make some noise?
My sleeper, I don't know. I had to make one on the fly, so I went with Trey McBride.
Okay.
Like you said, you don't really see tight ends winning Offensive Player of the Year. But like we were talking about earlier with Kyler coming back, the Cardinals having Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, James Conner.
I also like
as a sleeper.
I also like Zay Flowers to take that second-year jump with Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews back. That'll create more separation. I think Zay Flowers is that good. Also, guys like I wouldn't mind George Pickens. I think he's that good. The problem is Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Jacoby Myers or Romo Dunze in week 1. I would go. That's tough. That's like shit versus crap.
Romo Dunze.
Who do the Raiders play? The Raiders got the Chargers. I'd go Jacoby Myers pretty comfortably there. Jacoby Myers wasn't bad last year. He was he had like 10 touchdowns. Gardner Minshew, yeah.
Good thing the Patriots traded him too.
So, yeah, Jacoby Myers not bad for the Raiders, but it's close. So don't come with your pitchforks and torches after me. But wide receiver 2 in a close game compared to wide receiver 3 with a rookie quarterback, rookie himself. I don't know. Anyway, number 3 at Offensive Player of the Year voting, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Here's the problem. I don't think he has the capability to explode and win Offensive Player of the Year. I think he's a guy that will be sitting here in 5 years talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown being a fringe top 5 receiver. But I don't know if he'll ever get to be that number 1 guy. Slot receiver types don't usually fare well in terms of winning big-time awards. Same time, you could look at Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, who have done great stuff these last 2 years. So I'll go Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he will be very, very good. There's a lot of mouths to feed on that Lions team. I've already mentioned Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jameson Williams. They feel like they want to get involved a lot. Josh Reynolds. They have so many options. Amon-Ra St. Brown is the number 1 guy. So I put him at 3.
My number 3. Sadly, you said this earlier. I was hoping you wouldn't notice, but I went with James Cook.
Wow. James Cook to an Offensive Player of the Year. You drafted him in fantasy, right?
No.
Oh.
Wait, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I completely forgot about that.
Yikes! Just this is not the award predictions. It's just who's good that's on my fantasy team for Wayne with Trey McBride, Trey McBride and James Cook. Do you have Josh Allen? No, you don't. I think Adam does.
I have Anthony Richardson.
Do you?
Yes. Do you want him?
Yeah.
Would you trade?
Kyler Murray.
No. Anything else?
No. All right. Second in Offensive Player of the Year voting, you always got to put him on here, right? With how good Mahomes is, I said an MVP.
Shit, I did not put him on this list.
You what?
Kelsey?
No. You got to put Tyreek Hill on here. You got to put Tyreek Hill on here just because he can explode. Say 3 weeks, he has 150, 200 yards. That's enough, right? He was on pace last year for 2,000 yards. He's that electric. You got to put him on there.
Good thing I didn't put him on here.
This guy got Cup in the 6th round in his fantasy team with Mahomes, Jonathan Taylor, A-Chain, St. Brown. Who are you playing with? St. Brown.
Can I join your fantasy
St.
league?
Brown would be your 1st round pick. Taylor 2nd, A-Chain 3rd. Okay. Tank Dell, Ferguson receiver. That's a good team. It's a good team.
Can I join that fantasy league?
Yeah, me too. Give me an invite next year.
Second for me, Offensive Player of the Year voting, Derrick Henry.
What? No, my God. Oh, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry.
Yes.
Derrick Henry. I was going to say the name. Mitchell.
Derrick Henry.
Mitchell. Down to the 35. Wow. You just picked 2 running backs that can't catch a ball.
James Cook can't catch a ball? Excuse me?
I don't think so. He can catch it. He just doesn't a lot.
It's because they don't pass to him a lot.
Because that's what it's dependent on.
Because they had other wide receivers. Now they don't have shit.
Okay. You're big on the Bills, huh? You better pick the Bills to win this week 1 game against the Cardinals. Yeah, you got to pick them against the Cardinals.
Yeah, okay, I do.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
my Offensive Player of the Year, I feel so good about this pick. This is the number 1 pick I feel like this is going to hit. Who do you think it is? I'll give you 2 guesses.
I don't know. I hope it's not who I picked.
My number 1's Breece Hall.
Okay.
I think this guy's he's going to be so good. Aaron Rodgers is back. How good did he play with Zach Wilson last year? Was a top running back last year. And people say, well, he had Zach Wilson, they run the ball more. Doesn't work like that. With Aaron Rodgers, they will score more points. More points means he will get in the end zone more often. And the defense cannot put 7-8 in the box. When Zach Wilson couldn't throw the football, they had to just game plan against Breece Hall. Now that Breece Hall maybe is not the end-all, be-all on that offense, and it's more spread out, entering his what? Is he in his
Travis
3rd
Hunter
year?
is going to be the ugliest person I've ever seen.
Calm down.
Oh, my
Calm down.
God.
Entering his, 3rd year, I believe?
Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Him and Purdy are entering the same year, so I think 3rd year.
Yep. I'll go Breece.
Iowa State Cyclone.
I'll go
legend.
Breece.
My number 1.
Bijan Robinson.
CeeDee Lamb.
Whoa, it's a good pick. It's a good pick. They've
I
lost
put
a
that
lot.
I put that after the contract negotiations. So.
Dallas.
Thank God.
Yeah. Who'd they lose? They lost Gallup.
Gallup retired.
Yeah.
It's literally it's
Brandon Cooks.
whoever
wide
they have
receiver
at
too.
running back, which
They
I
lost
don't know,
Pollard,
Deuce Vaughn, Ron
Zeke,
Dowell,
Zeke and Dalvin Cook.
if that was 7 years ago, that might be the
my
best running back
goodness.
duo. in the
And Brandon
league.
Cooks on the team. Woo!
But I mean,
Yikes.
yeah, it's literally CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, and Dak.
Brandon Cooks. Jalen Tolbert. Lucky Whitehead.
Deuce Vaughn.
Lucky Whitehead was on the team a while ago. Not
Okay,
now.
we need to
but-
hurry this up. Oh my god,
What?
we keep yapping
We're not even on that long.
for like 30 minutes already.
30 minutes.
We need to not yap about the record.
Let's move on to
predictions.
defensive player
Or
of the year.
the game.
DPOY. Let's go quick here because nobody likes defense. Just kidding. I love defense. I love
Can
D.
we?
I love D.
Stop
So
the
I gotta
yapping.
talk about D. I love D. Number 3 up
Someone
for D.
please clip that.
Will Anderson. Great year last year. Daniel Hunter is joining this Texans off at defensive line. That's going to create more opportunities to not have Will Anderson be doubled all day. He will get third in defensive player of the year. My sneaky pick, is going to be Jonathan Grenard on the Minnesota Vikings. Not because he's a great player. Daniel Hunter had a great year last year, and Brian Flores sent so many blitzes. He had the number 1 blitz rate in the history of the NFL last year. He's going to continue to blitz. What the hell did I just... I'll come to that in a second.
You'll come to that. Excuse me.
But I have Jonathan Grenard as my sleeper. This guy's a 10-man league. Bo Nix,
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall,
Excuse me.
Kamara, Neighbors, Sutton, Hawkinson. That team sucks. I'm sorry.
That
buddy.
might. That,
Maybe if it's a 2 QB, it's not that bad. But you took Breece Hall in the first round. Who you taking in the second round? Kamara,
Bo Nix.
Neighbors. That's
Okay, my sleeper is Will Anderson Jr. My defensive player of the year, or no, my third in defensive player of the year voting is Micah Parsons.
good pick. I don't have him in there. There's so many tough.
You're gonna love my top 2.
My number 2 is Myles Garrett. Guy's a game wrecker. I think he's the. I think he is the most versatile player on defense in the league and can defend against the run, can defend against the pass. The guy that got the 10-man league, is that 2 QB league? Because if then it's not too bad because you listed off 2 quarterbacks. But if it's just a regular league,
You're cooked.
I don't know what you're
Okay.
trying to get there.
My second in DPOY is Max Crosby.
That's a good pick. It's so good I had to put him at number 1. Christian Wilkins is on that defensive line. Name one other player in the history of the Raiders D-line that has been on that team besides Max Crosby. Howie Long. But you can't. So adding Christian Wilkins, who's a big-time boy. He's big like me. All right? He's a big-time boy. Loves his mama's cooking. He's going to
Yeah,
be...
okay, we got to quit the yapping.
He's going to feast, no pun intended. So that's my...
My number 1 is Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay.
Defensive
White.
player of the year.
White.
That's why my that's what my
This guy's got a 12-man lead. Kyler Murray, Bijan Robinson,
My coach of the year
Javante
for
Glennon.
third place is Matt
Good team.
Eberflus. Eberflus.
Ew.
Eberflus.
Ew. My running back 2. I'm not a big running back guy. I'm not a big RB2 guy. My RB2.
Who does he have at RB2?
Javante Williams.
That's not bad.
But
because
he's got Drake London, Nico Collins, Trey McBride, Bijan Robinson. Yeah. Listen.
those are those wide receivers that are
Somebody's-
sneaky, but it's if they produce. If they produce, you're really good. If they're
Somebody's going to get hurt sometime, and just
Yeah.
you got to be quick on the waiver. So that's what I've done with running back 2 for a long time. You got to be quick on that waiver because somebody's getting hurt and somebody's going to have big-time production and you'll just be fine. My number 3 at Coach of the Year is Kevin O'Connell. I got to throw one Viking in there, right?
and you aren't going to get an MVP, offensive player of the year,
Shut
defensive player of the
up.
year, offensive
We're going to
rookie
win
of
it
the year,
all.
or
Sam
defensive
Darnold
rookie of the year.
MVP. Justin Jefferson's going to win Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to say, screw it. I'll do it myself.
Is he going to get the league in tackles for the amount of interceptions?
Yes.
Sam Darnold
No, calm down.
throws? They told me bust out by AP. Perfect time.
So I'll go Kevin O'Connell just because
Need a Viking. All right, my second
Okay.
and coach of the year is Raheem Morris, the Falcons coach. Pretty sure, yeah.
good
Falcons
pick. Good pick. This guy says the Broncos make the playoffs this year. This is the
Excuse
same guy that has Bo Nix on his team. I like the pot you're smoking. So if you want to give it to my address, My address is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C. Send some cocaine there. I'm sure they'd love it.
Is that the White House?
Yeah, it's
address?
the White House. He's going to get arrested.
I
My
was
number
like,
two.
hold on.
My number 2 in Coach of the Year is Shane Steichen with the Indianapolis Colts. Just because I don't think they're that as hyped as the Texans. So if you put D'Amico Ryans on there, they got to win, 16 games? Because the Texans are already expected to be a top team.
Story.
So I'll go Shane Steichen.
My number 1, Jim Harbaugh. I don't know why. I'm throwing him in there. Who's to say?
I don't know why you're saying I don't know why. He's the odds-on favorite to win the award
actually?
right now. Yeah.
Why? Because he's a new coach?
Because he's a good coach.
Okay. I'm not even going to explain. All right. I don't know he was not.
10-man team, Jordan Love, McCaffrey, ETN. Listen,
That's elite already. All right. What's your coach of the year before you ramble on about
Robert
fantasy team?
Saleh.
Okay.
The New York Jets. I've been
excuse me.
so high in the Jets. I'm digging my grave with these freaking Jets, okay? I'm gonna dig my grave with these Jets. I'm digging my grave again. Go on.
My number 3 for offensive rookie of the year, Jaden Daniels.
Did you give your coach of the year?
Yes, Jim Harbaugh.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know he was the odd favorite to win it though. So
My defensive rookie of the offensive rookie of the year?
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Jr. number 3 is my number 3. He's the best player in the draft, maybe. And with a good enough offense, he'll feast.
my number 2
Those
is
big
Brock
old
Bowers.
lips.
Brock Bowers is elite.
Eh.
I feel like he's gonna be a good safety valve for Gardner
Start
Minshew.
2 Cup Neighbor Smith. Start 2 Cup Neighbor Smith. Start 2 Cup Neighbor Smith. Listen, you don't have to type it every single time. Cup Neighbor Smith. Start 2 Cup Neighbor Smith. Stop typing.
Starting Cup and Smith cutting neighbors.
I'm starting Cooper Cup against the Lions and Devontae Smith. But you asked me that question in Week 10, it might be
Neighbors.
it might
Cup.
be Neighbors in there.
Devontae Smith.
Sean Payton's going to win Coach of the Year. Yeah, maybe if he hires players to hurt people again.
Mason, what's your second offensive rookie of the year?
Jaden Daniels. I've never seen a second overall pick from a Washington
That
organization.
doesn't pan out in the league.
Pick the freaking thing up.
You got a violation warning.
Because
Excessive shaking.
it has alcohol. What? Who's
Where?
Yo. Who is violating my stuff saying I have alcohol
It might
on
be the
here?
guy that said start bench.
Right
cut.
my team. Burrow, Brees Hall, Jonathan Taylor. It's a great team. Now stop typing it.
My offensive rookie of the year, obviously. I mean, I don't want to go with it, but it's the favorite, Caleb Williams. I mean,
That's my pick too.
It's kind of like
He's so good. Gay. I mean good. I mean good. He's so good.
you're a good running
Yeah.
running back.
Defensive Rookie of the Year. Number 3, Laiatu Latu
Fuck, I
of
have
the
him at number 3
Indianapolis
too.
Colts.
God damn
Every masterpiece has a
it!
cheap
Shut
copy.
the hell up.
Number 2, Quinyon Mitchell.
Oh, thank God I don't.
Somebody's got
got
to step up in that Eagles DB room.
Cooper DeJean.
Sure as hell ain't gonna be James Bradbury.
The
Darius
thing is,
Slay.
he's out 6 to 8
is
weeks.
old.
First of all, James Bradbury's out for 6 to 8 weeks. Just
Yeah, I
let
know.
you know
That's
that
why I
real
say
quick.
Certain Hill ain't gonna be
Okay.
in. You want to hear a bold prediction? Darius Slay not on the Eagles by week 8.
That's a really bold prediction.
He's going back to Detroit. And
My number 2 for defensive rookie of the year, Dallas Turner. Okay, continue. Who's your number 1?
they kicked us off the fucking live. They kicked us off the live on TikTok. No, I
Actually?
don't agree with the decision.
What? That's crazy. I saw you looking at it. I was like, wait, did the violation go through?
Hello? We got 278 views. All right, we're back on.
So, are we able to go live still?
Live access suspended
For how long?
till September 10th.
So, next week. 7 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Podcast is over.
We still have YouTube.
Podcast is over.
All right, let's move on to our viewer here on YouTube. They took us down. Okay, they assassinated
The
the
second
president.
tower has been hit. Our first tower has been hit, which is TikTok. Our second one is still YouTube. So.
Yeah, give it a couple minutes and they'll be there.
Okay, my defensive rookie of the year favorite. This is a shocker. Jared Verse.
What? Berwick native Jared Verse.
Central Columbia.
That's cool, but it's going to be Dallas Turner. So I don't care.
On to week 1 predictions.
Week 1
I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going to the bathroom. So you can yap.
This kid's going to the bathroom. He's got a bad bladder. I'm still here. I'll stick it out because I am a...
I literally I drank a gallon of water today. So
it is week number 1. As you folks know, I just want to say whoever destroyed my TikTok and took that down, you need to be shot. Nope, I'm not saying that. I'm kidding, because then I'll really get banned. That's disgusting. I can't go live for another week. That's disgusting. You're having a little bit of a childish fun, and you can't go live. That's just disgusting. I mean, anyway, I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Listen, the world is unjust. We're going to fight through it, okay? With week 1 picks. It's week number 1. It's finally time. The biggest storyline of week number 1 for me, how's old Thomas Brady going to do in the booth? Listen, it was a big thing when Romo got in the booth. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time.
how's Matt Ryan doing in the booth?
So I think that's going to be a big storyline. Let's get into it. Thursday night, 2 nights from now. It's wild to say that when you wake up tomorrow morning, you're going to say, hey, there's football on tomorrow night, which is pretty wild. Just because as the world will be watching Ravens and Chiefs, I will be tuned in to Western Illinois and Indiana. Actually, there's no games on Friday in college football. Can we stop watching this shit? All right, Ravens, Chiefs. Chiefs are 3-point favorites. What I want you to do you have all your picks written down?
Yeah.
Okay,
I have score predictions too.
When we're done with this, I'll take a picture. We'll come back next week and say you have this many points.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, is it just a point per
game?
And then what if you get the exact score prediction?
No, we're not doing that.
Damn. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Ravens, Chiefs. Home at Arrowhead Stadium. Chiefs have lost. They lost last year against the Detroit Lions at Arrowhead Stadium. The Ravens, another trendy team, rematch of the AFC Championship game. It's been a while. Like, Mahomes is the constant in the AFC. Who's going to be that guy to challenge him and be his main rival?
Give the score prediction.
Brady's main rival was Manning. In the AFC, you're looking at Stroud could be that guy. Lamar could be the guy. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. There's a lot of guys that could be the guy. Right now, it looks like it could be Lamar Jackson. Chiefs are 3-point favorites. I don't think they cover the spread.
That's kind of hard to do and not win.
I'm going to go Chiefs. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. The over-under set at some amount of points. I think it's set at 47.5. I like the under. I'll go Chiefs 21, Ravens 20. Every time when you see these high-powered Week 1 games, they usually go under. Two incredible defenses. Kansas City has a chance to be one of the better defenses in the league this year. I do think Kansas City wins. The wide receiver additions, I know Hollywood Brown's not going to be able to play, but Xavier Worthy will just create enough, I think, of a downfield option to where Kelsey over the middle of the field is going to have options. Rashee Rice is playing, Pacheco, all those guys. Chiefs win by a point.
Yeah, I have a decent high-scoring game. I have Ravens 31, Chiefs 28.
Okay, you're going with the Birds. One of the Birds, not the Birds.
Flock. Don't do what Colby does and say the Birds.
Stop flocking talking to me.
Ravens flock. Let's rise.
Packers Eagles from Brazil. People are saying this game is going to be dangerous. It won't.
You're on the good side of Brazil, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, they're not playing in the freaking slums of Brazil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they get shot.
When they had the Olympics in Rio,
well, who's
nobody
to know
died.
what AJ Brown does? He might start being Batman over Brazil.
I got the Packers are plus 2.5. I'll take Green Bay. There's really no home field advantage in this game. I'll go Green Bay 24-17.
Why do you have the Packers winning?
Touchdown game.
Stop.
Jordan Love guy.
You're like everybody else.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. I got Green Bay, so I picked the favorite in Kansas City, the upset slightly in Green Bay. Pack plus 2.5 for the W.
I have Packers 28, Eagles 24.
You think these games are going to be higher scoring than what they're going to be?
Well, that's because these are two really good offenses.
two good defenses too. No, but not maybe not great defense. High scoring game could be right here with the Jags and the Dolphins.
Where the hell's that?
Dolphins and Jags.
I don't have it as a high scoring game.
I think the Dolphins win 35-27.
I don't even have that.
35-27 Fins. Miami always comes out week one and has a great performance. We saw it last year. They put up 38 points against the Los Angeles Chargers. They put up a number again here against a pretty relatively weak Jags defense, especially on the defensive line. Expect Raheem Mostert and A-Chain start to get it going. Tua will open up the passing game, and Miami wins.
Dolphins 27, Jags 20.
Okay.
Not a high scoring game.
We're gonna add a little wrinkle here again.
Okay.
You have to pick one game as your upset, one game as your lock.
Ooh.
Okay.
So,
upset has to be they have to be, of course, an underdog.
then my lock
Your
is
lock?
probably Dolphins Jags. Like I don't think
You
there's
think there's
a way,
any
I don't
chance?
think there's a way that the Dolphins lose.
Okay.
But obviously, I
Okay.
mean, okay, let me see some.
Write down
Actually, a lock could be Bengals.
write down an L and a
Okay.
U for lock and upset. An L and a U.
Upset.
So let's move on to the Vikings and the Giants.
I just don't know who the favorites are on half of these
I'll
games.
take the Vikings here
Shit.
in a close
A
game,
lock.
23-17. People are underrating how good this defense is. It's not good, but how good it is. I
Okay.
will think. Huh?
Vikings, Giants. Okay.
I will take Minnesota over New York and the Giants, the New York Football Giants. If Minnesota cannot stop Daniel Jones, they're going to have a real problem when you play Caleb Williams twice, when you play Jared Goff twice, when you play Jordan Love twice. Those are three quarterbacks when the year ends can all be in the top 10 in the NFL. And when you got to play them 6 times a year and playing Stroud and the Texans early in the season and playing Purdy and the Niners early in the season and playing Matt Stafford and the Rams, this defense is going to be tested so much, but they get a little bit of a tune-up game offensively against one of the worst offenses in the league. I take Minnesota.
I have the Vikings 24, Giants 20.
Okay, pretty close and common
Quit
there.
the yapping. Just give your score predictions.
Here's my upset. I think Arizona comes into Buffalo and wins this game. Believe it or not, I think it's a good game. I think Buffalo a little bit too overhyped early in the season. I think they're still going to be really
I don't
good.
even think they're overhyped. They lost so many people. Who's overhyping them? They got Keon Coleman, Josh Allen,
guess.
James Cook, Dalton Kincaid.
This is not my upset. I think the Bills win.
What are you? You're yapping, young fella.
Bills 34, Cardinals 27. I think in terms of a pure and
hernia.
pure of a
Oh no, slipping.
in terms of a pure enjoyment, I think this might be the best game of the weekend, just because of Sunday. Just because these are two high-flying offenses, two mobile quarterbacks, two fun quarterbacks. I retract my statement. I think Buffalo does win. Close, maybe not, 7 points.
I have the Bills 31, Cardinals 21.
By 10, okay. Indianapolis and Houston, I'll take the Colts here. Close game. I'll go 23-21. Indianapolis, a little bit lower scoring than people think. I think this Colts defense is better than people think. And Houston is going to be very, very good this year. I don't think we look at either one of these teams saying, why are you watching Donald Trump say
It's Family Guy.
Okay.
Trump was talking about rape.
Yeah.
That's gonna get us kicked off of YouTube. All right, continue, please.
Anyway, I don't think this is the one game where I look at it and say whoever wins, I'm not telling too much of the season. Whoever loses. Whoever wins, I think there's a real contender to go win the Super Bowl. Whoever loses, it's not that big of a deal. Your pick?
I have the Texans 31, Colts 24.
Okay, close game there. Patriots and Bengals. Listen, you want to pick this as your upset. I'm not,
No,
or
that's
the
my
lock,
lock.
of
That's
your
my
lock. I don't think it's going to happen.
Excuse me?
I'm picking the Bengals 20-17. Close game. You don't,
I
Bengals.
don't even have that much. Like, my game isn't even. My game's still close for the Bengals and Patriots.
This is.
I just have them as a lock to win.
Yeah. Bengals are 8.5-point favorites. I'd like New England plus 8.5. The turmoil with Jamar Chase, how are they going to figure that out from now until Sunday? Cincinnati is historically a slow-starting team, and there's nobody you want to play least than a rookie coach that you don't know his tendencies. We don't know anything about Gerard Mayo. Could be a
So what
good
you're
thing,
saying is
or could be a
for
bad
team
thing.
to get a rookie coach every year.
Yeah, sure. Keep them on your toes.
I have the Bengals 28, Patriots 20. This is my lock for the Bengals
Okay.
to win.
I still don't have a lock yet. We'll see
I need to figure out my upset.
how we go. I have a good upset pick.
Actually, I don't know what the Cowboys and Browns what the spread is. For
I'll
that,
tell you.
actually. Okay.
Cowboys-Browns spread is Dallas plus 2.5.
So I'd suck with the pluses. What the hell does that mean?
They're underdogs, but it's close. I
So
don't know
Dallas
if that's an
underdog?
upset.
Then never mind, because I have the Browns winning it
Okay.
anyways. So
It's in Cleveland.
yeah, I have the Browns winning it. Anyways.
Steelers-Falcons. Good game.
What's
I mean, this
the spread on that?
Falcons are -3. They're getting a field goal in this game. I think this will be a defensive game. I think it will be the lowest scoring game of the weekend. I think the Falcons just right at the spread.
I don't
17-14.
think I have an upset on any of this. Who's the favorites in the Packers and Eagles? Eagles.
Packers by 2.5 or Eagles by 2.5.
So
You got to pick an upset somewhere.
so if the Packers win, is that an upset or no?
Yeah.
I have them winning by 4.
You have the
That's
Packers.
like I have the Packers winning
Okay,
by 4.
you could pick that as your upset.
That's like the only upset I have, but well, okay. For me, I have the Falcons 28, Steelers 27.
For your upsets, try to make them
I
3 points or more. You could pick the Rams against the Lions, Jets
don't-
against the Niners. Like, you got to pick one.
What's
They
the
know.
Bucks and the Commanders? That doesn't even.
Commanders
make sense.
are +3.
So.
It's just the opposite of minus. Minus means they're favorite. Plus means they're
Oh,
underdogs. What are we doing?
okay.
I think Atlanta wins. A little bit of feeling out process for Kirk Cousins. I do think the Falcons get to 1-0.
Same.
Here's my lock, and maybe a little bit too much on a lock here. I think the Bears pretty convincingly win against Tennessee
I hope so.
26-20, and pretty convincing win. Tennessee's a solid enough team. They've made a lot of improvements. I'm really high on Caleb Williams. It's very unfortunate that I have to pick a lock. I don't have to pick a lock, but I'm picking a lock for a team that has a rookie quarterback in week 1. Doesn't usually bode well, but the situation around Caleb Williams is as good as we've seen in a long time for a rookie quarterback. I think the Bears win by 6. It's my lock.
I have the Bears 24, Titans 14. Pretty
All right.
low scoring game.
My upset pick is the Saints and Panthers.
You think the Panthers?
I think
win?
the Panthers win the game.
Damn.
Not big on the Saints this year. Not big on Derek Carr. And this could feel like one of these weird Week 1 games where Bryce Young, who's got Xavier Legette now, and
Yeah, it's like Dustin Poirier and Islam Makhachev.
without the
Without the
monkeypox.
gloves. Yeah. Without, this is pretty accurate to what they did.
So that's my pick. I do think Carolina gets on the right foot in New Orleans. Let's not act like the Saints are this big bad team. I think the Saints are going to be close with Carolina in the regular season standings. So for the sake that I have to pick an upset, I will give it to the Saints over the old Panthers.
I have the Saints 21, Panthers 17. So I did an upset.
So close.
We did that.
Raiders Chargers at 4:05.
We did that.
Justin Herbert and company. It's not going to be my upset pick, but I do think the Raiders win this game. I think they're a better team than Los Angeles. I think they win the game 28-24. Justin Herbert, not many weapons. It's the first time in his career.
Excuse me, Lad McConkey?
Shut up.
Brendan Rice, whatever the hell Jerry Rice's son name is.
Not
Brandon
is
Rice?
this the first time in his career where he has had a lack of weapons. He's always had a top 5 supporting cast in the league, whether it be Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler.
Do not forget Hunter Henry when he was a young.
Yeah, sure.
Do
I got the Raiders.
not forget Gerald Everett.
I have the Raiders winning as a 3-point
I have the
underdog.
Chargers 21, Raiders 20.
Okay. Chargers win. Okay.
Yeah, I still don't have an upset. Though.
Seahawks Broncos. This could be a good spot for an upset. I think the Broncos can upset Seattle
I don't
just because they're
see it.
both kind of average. And what does Bo
can't.
Nix have in Week 1? We will have to see as the starter. I think
Mother Teresa.
Seattle wins 21-14, but I think it's a close game late. Close game late. I think the Seahawks.
I
win.
have the Seahawks 24, Broncos 17.
You're the most boring man I've met. No upset picks.
I don't see an upset. That's the problem.
I think
because
Dallas.
it's
I think
supposed to be
Dallas
an
walks into
upset.
Cleveland and whips their ass.
Excuse me.
I think the Cowboys walk into Cleveland and whip their ass.
I think the Cleveland. I think
26
the Browns walk into Cleveland and whoop the Cowboys' ass.
26-17 Cowboys. That is my biggest win of the weekend. A 9-point game.
I have the Browns 34, Cowboys 27.
It's not going to be a high-scoring game. I can promise you
I
that.
think it'll be a pretty high scoring game.
That's wild. Commanders Bucks. This is a sneaky game for me. I think this could have a lot of intrigue. What's Jaden Daniels got in week 1? Not a win in week 1.
I don't see a win either, so I hope you don't have a win.
The Buccaneers win this one 24-21. Close game, as they're mostly going to be here in week 1.
I have the Bucks 28, Commanders 24.
Love that 28-24 score, huh?
I've literally had it on here twice. That's it.
All right. Rams.
Literally twice.
Rams Lions. I like the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams win this one, and then the Lions win the Super Bowl.
This is the best game of the weekend in terms of game. Rams 38, Lions 31. There's some points being scored in that one. I got the
Lions
Rams.
34, Rams 31.
Okay. Finally, Jets Niners. I do think the 49ers
Who's the favorite,
win.
the Niners?
Niners by 4.
Damn it. I don't have an upset. Well, I guess my upset's the Packers versus Eagles. That's literally all I got.
I have the Niners winning 27-23.
I have the Niners winning 37-31.
Okay.
My upset, I guess, is the Packers versus Eagles. Packers win. I don't have anything else. So
All right. We are 56 minutes in. That seems like a good place to stop. We'll be back for week number 2 picks and week 1 reaction. It's the NFL football is back. Starting on Thursday, going all the way to
NFL
Monday.
football.
We will see you later. And screw you, whoever decided to ban me on TikTok.
Shout out to my TikTok.